Blessed love, my people. I am Weleta Kidan, aka T. Welcome to my digital empire. So, today in this video, I will talk to you about Rastafarianism. I got asked a lot of questions about it because of my hairstyle and the fact that I'm from Ethiopia. So, in general, Rastafarianism revolves around the Bible, Pan-Africanism or Black history, and the Emperor of Ethiopia, Emperor Haile Selassie. So, for me, honestly, since I'm starting to learn about Black history and I am new to all of these Black movement, I've only started it 1 year, 2 years ago. Before that, I was pretty much in an identity crisis. Of course, I've always been spiritual, but when it comes to identity and what it means to have ancestors and the connection we have with ancestors, I never really knew about it. So I might not tell you something that you regard as the truth when it comes to Rastafarianism, but I am really motivated to reflect on this. So I have a personal opinion and observation that I want to talk about in this video. So on top of the Rastafarian movement and how I feel about it, how positively I relate to the movement, and of course, at this point in my life, I'm surrounded by Rastafarians a lot. Apart from that, I have also a personal connection to the emperor himself, a relationship, a deep relationship with the emperor that lasted for a very long time. So I'm not going to talk about it, the nature of the relationship I had with the emperor, and I still continue to this day. But the emperor for me is more of my spirit guide. He's just my spiritual guide. I always feel his energy. He protects me. He guides me. He provides for me. He is a spirit guide. The way that I see Alan Watts as my spirit guide, the Emperor is also my spirit guide. But he is one of my leading members in my energetic team, and I am actually, I feel like I'm here on earth. I have incarnated in this time because of him, to continue on his mission of promoting Africanism and promoting Africanism, and as well as teaching the ways of Africa to the rest of the world. So it's there's something indigenous and tribal in me that connects me to his mission here on earth. So I've met also some other soldiers, warriors, who are on the mission from the Most High, the same way that I am, and that tells me a lot about the whole thing, the whole movement. So yeah, some people think that the emperor is the incarnate of Jesus Christ, and the last messenger to human beings, something like that. But for me, he's more of a human prophet with an essence of Jah, with an essence of the Creator himself. He embodies the Creator as a human being, as a prophet here on earth, as a prophet, more like as a prophet than a messenger or an incarnate of Jesus Christ. So I pointed out some of the positive and negative aspects of Rastafarianism that I learned in the process of hanging out with a lot of Rastas and even having the lifestyle of Rastafarianism myself. So the first positive aspect that I like so much is they promote natural way of living. They really admire nature. Most of them are vegetarian for that reason. They understand plants. They are really natural in all of the ways. If women Rastafarians that I know, the real Rastafarians, not just having the style, but also living the life of Rastafarianism. There are common principles uh, and guidances in the movement that tells us a lot about where you are as a Rastafari. When you have the discipline of Rastafarianism, your life is more of natural than artificial. So in everything you do, you show that natural way of life. The next one is friendly creator. I like the idea of having a friendly creator that I call Jah, instead of just imagining God as a hypocrite image figure that I have to fear, and that I have to talk to, like I have to distance myself from. God is not here and we're not here. It's just a friendly connection that we have with the creator. So most Rastafarians I see, they call the creator Jah, and they even treat it as a friend, as a close friend that they speak to, that they ask questions to, that they can talk to. Like I see Rastafarians saying, Jah knows, Jah provides, and they show this pure love that they have for their creator in a friendly way. And I noticed that there's a same concept called Sufism. It's actually a religion, a Muslim Islam religion. In Sufism, they call the creator the beloved, our beloved, and they treat it as an intimate friend, instead of some figure that they have to fear and they have to say yes to all the time. You know what I mean? So I love that. I love the idea of having a friendly creator that I call Jah, and that's how I call my creator. I call it Jah. So yeah. The other one is character wise. Most of the Rastafarians, they have character, and they have character growth in how they dress, in how they walk, in how they walk. They show you characters. I mean, for me, for someone, something or someone to attract me, they should have a character. Character is really a method for us to actually show who we are at a core level. Most people ask me, even friends say sometimes, if it's, you would look better if you have a long hair, and if you actually, give it a style. Most of the times I reply that this hair choice is not necessarily for beauty. I don't choose to have this hair for beauty. It's more of a representation of my character. It shows who I am at a deeper level. It shows my natural essence. So I like that. I like the character growth aspect, how most Rastafarians show up in this life in a way that it only represents themselves instead of someone they know or something. And the other aspect is dreadlocks. I just generally love dreadlocks. Most Rastafarians say by leaving their hair where it is, they are kind of respecting God's intention. God's intention, not touching anything, like making it an ecosystem, leaving it where it is. But for me, in addition to that, it's just I like dreadlocks. I like the style. I just love it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. The other aspect, positive aspect about Rastafarianism is how there is understanding, compassion, forgiveness, and innocence in most of the Rastafarians. The real Rastafarians show some degree of innocence that I really find attractive and find so astonishing. In life, we feel lost when we are not innocent anymore. When the world puts lies and fakery and pretentiousness in our head, and somewhere along the line we feel lost because we are not innocent anymore. So in the Rastafarian community, I see that innocence of almost childlike energy, and I love it very much. And also they believe in forgiveness. They are very light-hearted community. For someone to be Rastafarian, they're not limited by color or gender or age. By the way, I see Rastafarians from two little babies, especially after I come to Rwanda. The children of my friends are themselves Rastafarians, and they have dreadlocks, and you see the same thing that you see in adult. You see the same thing in them that you see in adult Rastafarians. So for me, Rastafarian doesn't have any central, doesn't have any particular group that it promotes. It's all about humanity, and whoever understands what it is, if they know, they know. If they don't, they don't. So It's more like for I feel Rastafarianism in my heart more than in my mind. I don't know why it's there. I don't know what it is, and I don't know how it works, but I feel it in my heart. It just means the lifestyle even chose me before I was able to choose it. So Rastafarianism is yeah, that positive attitude they have towards life. They promote unity, and they 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 promote unity even though they are from different background and color. Rastafarianism all about harmony, unity, and positive attitude toward life. No matter how life treats you, or how much trouble you have in your life, if you are a Rastafarian, you have faith, you are staying strong, and you don't give up, because you are thinking positive all the time. The knowledge that they have about black history and ancestral ancestors and rituals, in general African way of living, is very amazing. In Rastafarian community, there is so much knowledge about American history, American heroes, Black Lives Matter movement, people like Malcolm X, Nelson Mandela, and Emperor Haile Selassie are very much praised. They know where history got distorted. They know the errors of history, what happened in the past, and the unfairness of racism, colonialism. So as an African, of course, I'm touched by that, and I'm concerned with all of these, and it's part of my mission. So I really love in the Rastafarian community how they are informed in all of the ways, call it the Bible, and religion and spirituality, meditation and yoga, and they are informed in every corner. And I love that about the movement and the people who are in the movement. What else? I wrote down encourage art and creativity, especially music. Most Rastafarians I've met, they are artists. They are artists, and they are creators. They are so creative. They create music most of the time, and they are really good at it. And the message that they convey in their music is also very amazing. I mean, it helps people. It helps most people to see the light, and to feel positive, to hang in there, to sort of want to know more about themselves. No one could say they listen to reggae and they feel depressed. It's always uplifting. So I like that element of it. So awareness. The other thing is their awareness of the healing that herb provides. Herb cannabis. It's a healing plant. I don't know why people call it drug, but it's just a medicine. So their knowledge around it and how they relate to it and how they use it for medical purposes, it's amazing. I think one of the things that the movement does to the world, I believe, is that to actually promote and create awareness regarding herb and how it can be used for spiritual purpose, for meditation, for healing, to go deeper in ourselves, and to just relax, to let go, and also some direct um, physical healings that it can provide. So in the Rastafarian community, the herb, the cannabis is so honored, and I like that. The other thing is the heart is very empowered in the Rastafarian movement. There are so many things that touch the heart, that opens the heart. Most of the Rastas that I know are very good hearted people, and actually so much in their heart that they forget to use their heads sometimes. They have so much passion in the heart, and I'm a heart promoter. I love my heart. I love the intelligence of the heart. So I like it about the Rastafarian culture, how heart is given a space, given a place in their lives. Now, another thing is the culture of gratitude. The culture of gratitude is key for attracting good things into our lives. We should just be grateful all the time. We should find things to be grateful for as much as we can. We can be grateful for the weather, we can be grateful for people around us, the more grateful we are telling the universe that we want more of that. We want more of what we are grateful for. So it's a key tool in the process of manifestation. And that's why maybe most of the Rastafarians I know, again, they live in a comfortable environment, whether they are actively working or not. It's just there's something that's constantly providing for them, keeping them safe and keeping them comfortable. So, the culture of gratitude, my friend, the people that I live with now, they are Rastafarians. So in the morning when we wake up, we just simply say we give thanks and praises for the Most High. And we are constantly giving thanks and praising the Creator and Jah, and calling Jah and relating to Jah, asking Jah, telling Jah how we feel about life, admiring things, admiring each other, just sharing the love. So I love that about Rastafarian community. And what else? Pan-Africanism, as like I said, it revolves around Black history, African history, and Pan-Africanism. Like heroism and Black people liberation in general. So Pan Africanism is just, it attracts me. I'm learning about history, yet I'm still reading books, and most of the Rastafarians I hang out with, they taught me a lot of things about Pan Africanism in their poetry and creative work, and also a direct conversation, one-to-one conversation. So yeah, that I like constitutional monarchy. I said that I support monarchy a lot. I I even suggest that for Ethiopians to go back to monarchy and to be ruled by, again, by emperors and kings. Some people see it as wanting to make class difference, as wanting to feel important, more important than the rest of the people. But if I believe that I am a queen and I live as a queen, it's also up to you to think and to feel that you are a queen. My understanding is that each and every one of us are queens and kings, but it's up to you to claim it or to just let it slide. I claim that I'm a queen, and I remember to be myself to be a queen. I was African queen from time to time, and that's that what I'm continuing to do, just being myself, being the queen that I am. So I like the fact that they promote monarchy and constitutional monarchy, of course, not dictatorship. Sometimes people confuse monarchy with dictatorship. There is a lot of difference in these tech mechanics. So yeah, I just love that. And the other thing is how they are faithful, and most of the Rastafarians I've met are healers. They healed me, and I also healed them. So they are healers, they are healing, they are in their constant interaction with life, they are always healing, I believe. Even this morning my Rasta friend gave me something, some leaf, he kind of boiled it in a hot water, and just gave it to me. It's good for cleansing the lungs and the internal organs, he said. And he told me some of the miracles that it does. So I drank it, and after that I felt relaxed, So how healing is healing is acknowledged in the whole Rastafarian movement. I love it very much. So their contribution in media, and how the Rastaman uses their voice in music and in art, is also very amazing. Whatever message the Rastaman tells the world, it's always positive, it's always effective, it's always spiritual, and I love that. And I love the fact that they are in service to humanity. Rastaman is always kind to strangers. All we are wanting is to support the mission, to support the just mission here on the planet, to spread light and love. So it's a very nice thing. The last one, but not the least, is how humble the Rastafarian community is. Honestly, they are very humble people. I am in. I was born in Amara region, and I. It's just the place is a place of castle. We have castle there. Most of the people in Amara region, where I came from in Gondar, they are royalties. So there is that sense of entitlement, entitlement and pride that I see in my community where I grew up. So once I met the Rastaman and I learned about the Rastafarian movement, I learned how to keep myself humble. I kind of brought myself down to earth and just found my place. So I love that. I love how humble and down to earth Rastafarians are. The negative aspect of it is I wrote down an overall lack of motivation, procrastination, and they're not practical Rastafarians. I mean, they are practical in some sense. I'm not saying they're lazy people, but when it comes to motivating themselves in a practical way to achieve what they can achieve and not underachieve, is kind of they kind of push need a little bit push. They procrastinate a lot. It's just they're not as much disciplined or motivated when it comes to doing what they're setting out to do. There's that culture of postponing things because there is so much understanding and love and forgiveness in the culture of Rastafarian. Most of the time, they are not as goal driven as the rest of the world is, and I see it as a problem because we have to use our willpower to take action, right, and to follow through. And it's for me, what I see is there's a low self-esteem there. When you have a low self-esteem, most of the times you don't take action and follow through your action. But when you are a very empowered spirit with a strong willpower, you are always applying yourself, you are always taking action to do something about your life. So I don't really know where it came from, but in the Rasta culture, I see that procrastination and not wanting to go big. Maybe it's related to the humbleness that I talked about early on. Um, Most of them, they want to stay grounded and humble. They try to avoid being seen for other things other than call art, other than just cannabis, and other than whatever it is that's Rastafarian, the label, that whatever it is that they associate with the label Rastafarian, they want it, but they don't want to be seen in other areas. Like you don't see them doing business, you don't see them getting involved in the community in a very direct way. They're they're most of the time in the background. Yeah, and I like that. I like some of that. Like I love working in the background. I'm like behind the scenes. So yeah. The other thing is there can be an abuse of substance, abuse of cannabis. Some Rastafarians, they just lay down and smoke all day long. I used to do that myself, and I learned the hard way how to actually limit myself when it comes to cannabis usage. Limit myself to once in a week or once in 2 weeks, because I have to be, I have to stay alert, and I have to be conscious of everything that's happening. One thing that cannabis does is it relaxes you so much that sometimes you even find it difficult to walk. So that's something that I saw as I regard as negative. So this refusal to overstretching themselves in some sense and settling for less is, yeah, something that's common in the Rasta culture. Most of the time I see that being Ethiopian and woman is enough, for example, to feel to for some for Rasta man to be attracted to you if you are a woman and if you are Ethiopian. It's enough for most of the time, and that shows me, don't these people have personal preferences? I mean, don't these people have some things that they like and they don't like that they want to relate to in other people? I mean, how is it just being Ethiopian in women is enough to be married to just one a Rasta man, for example? So I don't really understand it. I think they love people so much they don't mind if you are toxic or if you are poor or rich. They're just attracted to the essence of who you are. But I see them paying for these things most of the time. I see them suffering from their relationships with Ethiopians and also other people from all over the planet. I can't say this color or that color, but it's common for a Rastafarian to just settle for less because They are just so much in their hearts, they don't use their heads very much. It's my twin flame that taught me how to use my head. Of course, I used it before him too, but I didn't really. I wasn't balanced. I was lost in my heart to some extent, and I really had to start to think and to know what is what. So yeah. Um. Racism about or on racism. I mean, they don't. They kind of object racism, but also by refusing and rejecting racism, they are becoming racist themselves. I mean, I don't think and racism is important in general for human lives. It's the most stupidest thing that we can ever we can ever do as humans. But at the same time, I'm not racist about people who are racist. I'm not against white people in any way. I don't have anything against them. I just know what's wicked and what's right, and I'm always choosing right, one. And the second thing is, I don't blame the white people for doing this or doing that. It's just I read what history says, and in the history, there was no justice, right? There was no justice. The white man came and conquered the continent and took a lot from us. So I'm focusing on the history instead of the color. If you ask me which continents did this, I would say the United States and Europeans. But I'm not really focused on the color and the color of white people and how it is racist towards black people. Because if I think like that, I'm also supporting being seen as black by a white person. So I'm not really coming from that space. I am for Black Nation, yes, and I'm a warrior of love, yes. And do I want to teach the ways of Africa to the rest of the world? Yes. Do I believe that there was injustice in the past during colonization? And do I believe that we have been brainwashed by the white man? Yes. But what my focus is on the history of it and what's happening in the current reality that I want to change, that I want to edit, that I want to improve is predominant thoughts are around that. So not most of, but some of the Rastafarians are racist about racism. They are racist on the racists. If you know what I mean. I don't know how to put it better than this. The other thing is there is a kind of adultery, or what do you call it? Yeah, adultery and lust in the Rastafarian community that I saw. Most of the Rastafarians, especially men, are very sexual. They would like to have many partners as possible, and even if they are not polygamous, in how they live their lives normally, they're just lusty, and yeah, there's a lot of adultery in relationships. And commitment issue also, there is a commitment issue. I think, like, just because they are light spirit, they are loving towards the human being. So sometimes that can overtake them, that desire can possess them, and they just want to become intimate with everyone. And me personally, I'm monogamous, and as a woman especially, I can only love one person. And when I love with my entire being, with my whole being. I love with my body, with my heart, with my mind. So there is no way for me to want to have many partners, or it's not. I'm not physical like that. Even though I don't really care whether someone looks like a model or whatever. If I'm loving one person, I'm staying there. But I think it's a biological orientation of men could be different from women. I don't know about that. But in the Rastafarian community, I see a lot of lust, and if they are even in a committed relationship or marriage, there is stories of adultery from here and there, and they fear commitment because they want to relate to everything on a deeper level. and I don't necessarily see committing to a relationship as being imprisoned, but it might feel like that for Rastafarians. The other thing is overusing. Yeah, I said that already, and focusing only on art and not using as a platforms to make a difference in this world. Yes, they are, most of the time they want to create art. They're artists. I'm an artist myself. I'm a writer. I'm a poet, so I understand them. But that's not the only way that we can make a difference in this world. When I'm working on having a healing studio, because healing people is part of it, and my friends are organizing an event in like a week time, and they're preparing the stage. That's a way of contributing. I know some businessmen who integrate spirituality with their business. That's one part of it. I see personal trainer, coaches, and sport people in a sports club doing something about the mission, and that's one contribution. In the Rastafarian community, there is so much focus on arts and using the voice and singing and talking and teaching in public. But we can also spread our wings, and get involved in some mundane, actual, practical things in the world, like doing business and working in a community, becoming entrepreneurship, and teaching in school, for example, or like healing the people, and having a studio, a massage studio, a healing studio, and working there, really empowering yourselves. Sometimes we have to start doing things differently. We have done music for a long time. We have done writing poetry for a long time. These are commonly accepted characteristics of the Rastafarians. But what are the things that we didn't get into, that we fear to come into? And for example, if even if they know they're healers, for a Rastafarian, it might be difficult to have a studio in which people come and get a healing from, because that is, again, um, contradicts to their sense of groundedness. They believe that, but I don't see it that way. It's really the time for the Rastafarian community to empower themselves and to start doing things differently, not getting stuck only in music or only in the things that we are identified with as a Rastafarian culture. The other thing is there could be toxic positivity. Rastafarians are positive people in general, but sometimes when their shadows are triggered, or when they have to act like a human, like when they have to feel upset, for example, or when they have to be firm in their decisions, when they have to have boundaries. Rastafarians, most of the time, they just would rather stay positive, and they exhibit that common positivity, even though what they feel inside might be saying otherwise. So there is a toxic positivity. They say yes when they mean no, uh, and they smile when they are hurting, and they are talking in a very low tone when they are angry, when they are upset. So I don't think that's being honest with ourselves. That's a clear dishonesty, because I am positive when I'm positive. If I'm not positive, I'm not positive. After all, we're living in a polarity. We're living into, there are two things that are playing out in life. So if there is light, there is darkness. One produces the other. So it's good to just forget about toxic positivity and to be ourselves. It doesn't matter how we've been told to be as a Rastafarians. The other thing is, yeah, using the lifestyle or the religion. I saw some Rastafarians in Ethiopia that use the lifestyle and the religion for material gain, and for escaping from the world, that the world they used to live in. Things weren't working out for them in their countries, so they come to Ethiopia, and to just feel at home, and to just to just live, to just be here. They choose the environment not necessarily for the spiritual work, but for escaping from the reality that they live in. And I don't like that. I don't like how some of them use the lifestyle and the Rastafarian movement for some kind of material gain, because the emperor had given them an opportunity to come and settle in Ethiopia in a place called Shamani. And also, there are some privilege that come with being Rastafarian, because the emperor had already created that opportunity for them. But I see some of them taking advantage of that opportunity, and I don't like it. But it's part of their journey, and hopefully they are going to learn from it. So yeah, this is everything that I want to say about Rastafarianism. I'm having a very relaxed morning here in Kigali. I'm in a Rastafarian house. There's a sister living in this compound, and we come together to talk about work and to actually just vibe together, and we're chilling. It's a beautiful day. I wish you a very nice and lovely rest of your day. So I will see you in the next video. Ja Rastafari Selassie I and I.